Synopsis Official.
Tamara Samsonova, a Russian woman hailing from St. Petersburg, stands accused of heinous crimes, with allegations of being a serial killer casting a dark shadow over her. Born on February 5, 1947, Samsonova's life took a sinister turn as she faced arrest under suspicion of murdering a 79-year-old woman and gruesomely dismembering her body. The investigation unfolds against the backdrop of a chilling connection to a total of 14 murders. The unfolding narrative takes a macabre twist as media reports reveal the discovery of a diary linked to Samsonova. Within its pages lie unsettling details of the alleged murders, providing a disturbing glimpse into the mind of a potential serial killer. One entry, translated from Russian to English, sends shivers down the spine. "I killed my tenant Volodya, cut him to pieces in the bathroom with a knife and put the pieces of his body in plastic bags and threw them away in different parts of Frunzensky district." Beyond the horrid details of the crimes, another layer of complexity emerges as Samsonova becomes a suspect in the mysterious disappearance of her husband in 2005. The shadows of suspicion lengthen, enveloping her in a web of unresolved cases and dark secrets. The chilling narrative deepens as it is revealed that Samsonova might be grappling with schizophrenia, a mental health condition that has led to her admission to psychiatric hospitals on 3 separate occasions. This revelation adds a layer of complexity to the understanding of Samsonova's psyche, raising questions about the intersection of mental health and criminality. In the harrowing tale of Tamara Samsonova, the boundaries between reality and nightmare blur. The discovery of the diary, the connection to multiple murders, and the haunting suspicions surrounding her husband's disappearance paint a portrait of a woman whose life is intertwined with darkness and unresolved mysteries. As the investigation unfolds, the layers of Samsonova's troubled psyche come to light, inviting contemplation on the delicate interplay between mental health, crime, and the enigma of the human mind. In a chilling saga that unfolded on August 5, 2015, the disturbing case of Tamara Samsonova, the alleged Granny Ripper, took center stage. At 68 years old, Samsonova was thrust into the spotlight as the prime suspect in a series of murders that had cast a shadow over St. Petersburg. The narrative takes a gruesome turn as the Granny Ripper is believed to have committed unspeakable acts, including the dismemberment and beheading of 11 victims. The reign of terror, spanning 2 decades, unveils a horrifying chapter in the annals of crime. What sets this case apart is the macabre revelation that Samsonova meticulously documented her secret life in diaries. Written in Russian, English, and German, these diaries provide a disturbing insight into the mind of a potential serial killer. Alongside these chilling entries, her collection includes books on black magic and astrology, further deepening the enigma surrounding her. As the investigation deepens, a new and unsettling dimension emerges. Police now entertain the grim possibility that Samsonova may have indulged in cannibalism. The notion that she could have consumed body parts of her victims sends shockwaves through the already horrifying narrative. The Granny Ripper case serves as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk within the seemingly ordinary. The intersection of gruesome murders, meticulous diary entries, and the ominous presence of occult literature creates a tapestry of horror. The unfolding investigation invites contemplation on the motivations and depths of criminality, pushing the boundaries of what the human mind is capable of. Tamara Samsonova's story becomes a chilling exploration into the darkest corners of the criminal psyche, leaving investigators and the public alike grappling with the unsettling question: did she eat her victims? The Granny Ripper case stands as a haunting testament to the complexities of the human mind and the chilling capacity for brutality that resides within it. In a harrowing development, the arrest of Tamara Samsonova last week sent shockwaves through St. Petersburg, as CCTV cameras captured her near her home, removing the body of her latest victim concealed in a black plastic bag. The former hotel worker's arrest brought to light a gruesome series of crimes, leading detectives to explore the disturbing possibility that Samsonova may have not only dismembered her victims, but also consumed parts of their bodies. The chilling narrative takes a macabre turn as investigators suspect Samsonova, dubbed the Granny Ripper, may have engaged in cannibalism. The mutilation of victims, including the removal of heads, arms, and legs, becomes more horrifying with the revelation that Samsonova had a particular inclination for gouging out and consuming lungs. When questioned about the possibility of cannibalism, a police source cryptically responded, "It is not excluded." Sources within Russia's investigative committee, akin to the FBI, hinted at the removal of internal organs, especially lungs, from the bodies of Samsonova's victims. The dark tapestry of her crimes continues to unravel, unveiling the depth of brutality and depravity that characterized her actions. Adding another layer of horror to the already gruesome tale, it is suggested that Samsonova administered an overdose of sleeping pills to her final victim, Valentina Ulanova, aged 79, before dismembering her body with a hacksaw while she was still alive. The level of cruelty exhibited in these acts transcends the boundaries of conventional criminality, plunging into the realm of sadistic brutality. As the investigation progresses, the Granny Ripper case poses unsettling questions about the motivations and psyche of a serial killer. The possibility of cannibalism, the calculated mutilation of victims, and the alleged overdose on a defenseless elderly woman paint a picture of unparalleled horror. The streets of St. Petersburg bear witness to a dark chapter, and the revelation of Samsonova's crimes challenges society's understanding of the depths to which human malevolence can sink. In a chilling turn of events, the arrest of Tamara Samsonova unfolded against the backdrop of a gruesome discovery. The headless body of her acquaintance, Ulanova, was found near a pond on Dimitrova Street in St. Petersburg. The victim, for whom Samsonova served as a caregiver, met a tragic end, allegedly at the hands of the very person entrusted with her care. Samsonova's confession to authorities shed light on the harrowing circumstances leading to Ulanova's demise. A seemingly trivial dispute over unwashed cups escalated into a fatal altercation, culminating in a brutal act of violence. Senior investigator Mikhail Timoshetov recounted Samsonova's chilling admission, stating, "Tamara Samsonova says that at first she made her friend, Ulanova, sleep and then cut her into pieces." The callousness of the crime sends shockwaves through the community, highlighting the depths of depravity to which Samsonova descended. As the investigation deepens, authorities delve into Samsonova's elaborate diary entries, seeking connections to unsolved cases of murder where victims were gruesomely dismembered. Their remains scattered throughout the city. The meticulous documentation found within Samsonova's diaries serves as a haunting testament to the calculated nature of her crimes, providing insight into the mind of a potential serial killer. The discovery of a headless, armless, and legless man's body on the same street over a decade ago adds another layer of intrigue to the unfolding investigation. Evidence uncovered in Samsonova's residence, including a business card belonging to the victim, establishes a compelling link to this earlier crime. The sinister pattern emerging from these findings underscores the gravity of Samsonova's alleged actions, painting a portrait of cold-blooded brutality and premeditated violence. As law enforcement officials piece together the puzzle of Samsonova's crimes, the community grapples with the chilling reality of a killer in their midst. The revelation of her heinous acts serves as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk within seemingly ordinary individuals, shaking the foundations of trust and safety. The pursuit of justice for the victims becomes paramount, as authorities work tirelessly to unravel the web of deceit and uncover the full extent of Samsonova's reign of terror. Tamara Samsonova's sinister saga extends beyond the recent murder of Valentina Ulanova, encompassing a broader spectrum of darkness. The suspicion of her involvement in the disappearance of her husband in 2005 casts a lingering shadow, as he remains an enigmatic figure, neither found dead nor alive. The unresolved fate of her husband becomes a haunting backdrop to the unfolding narrative, raising questions about the depth of Samsonova's potential involvement in his disappearance. The diary of the Granny Ripper emerges as a chilling repository of her darkest secrets, providing a glimpse into the mind of a purported serial killer. Among its grim pages lies a bone-chilling confession, detailing the murder of one of her former lodgers, Volodya. Samsonova's words recount a gruesome scene. She confesses to killing Volodya, dismembering his body with a knife in the bathroom, and callously disposing of the pieces in plastic bags across different parts of the Frunzensky district. The calculated brutality and lack of remorse evident in her words paint a macabre picture of a killer who methodically eliminated those who crossed her path. Detectives in Russia, cognizant of the incriminating nature of Samsonova's diary, withhold its complete contents as the multifaceted murder investigation unfolds. The decision to keep the details under wraps underscores the gravity of the case and the need for a comprehensive understanding of the evidence before public disclosure. Each entry in the diary represents a piece of a disturbing puzzle, and the authorities tread carefully to ensure a thorough examination of the collected evidence. Interwoven within the macabre confessions are mundane details of Samsonova's everyday life, creating a disconcerting contrast between the banality of routine and the heinous acts concealed within the diary's pages. The juxtaposition of ordinary details and chilling revelations serves to underscore the dual nature of Samsonova's existence, an unassuming presence on the surface, concealing a malevolent undercurrent of violence and depravity. As the investigation into Samsonova's multiple murders continues, the diary stands as a critical piece of evidence, offering a rare glimpse into the psyche of a self-professed killer. The unresolved mystery surrounding her husband's disappearance and the calculated admissions within the diary add layers of complexity to a narrative already steeped in darkness. The quest for truth intensifies, and the chilling revelations within the diary become pivotal in unraveling the enigma of Tamara Samsonova, the Granny Ripper. Amidst the chilling confessions and accusations surrounding Tamara Samsonova, the revelations from her personal diary add a surreal layer to the unfolding narrative. The diary, a seemingly mundane chronicle of daily life, juxtaposes the ordinary with the gruesome, providing an unsettling glimpse into the mind of the Granny Ripper. Within the worn pages of unlined yellowing paper, Samsonova's entries chronicle routine activities, details of restless nights, coffee consumption, medication regimens, and dietary habits. The contrast between the banality of these entries and the heinous acts she is accused of committing creates an eerie tension, underscoring the duality of her existence. It appears as if Samsonova sought to document the minutiae of her life, almost as if she feared missing something significant, an unusual juxtaposition given the gravity of her alleged crimes. The disturbing nature of the diary is heightened by the nonchalant recording of daily activities alongside the gruesome details of her murders. The mundane phrases coexist with chilling admissions, revealing a peculiar mindset that blurs the boundaries between the ordinary and the malevolent. Those who have delved into the diary describe an atmosphere of trepidation, as if Samsonova was compelled to meticulously document her life, potentially leaving behind a twisted legacy. During her recent court appearance, Samsonova's demeanor took a perplexing turn. Despite facing severe charges and potential life imprisonment, her primary concern appeared to be the presence of journalists and the prospect of her neighbors discovering the nature of her alleged crimes. The dichotomy between the gravity of the charges and her nonchalance towards the court proceedings adds another layer to the enigma surrounding Samsonova. Her awareness of the public spectacle and her seemingly casual response raise questions about her state of mind and the motives behind her actions. In an intriguing twist, Samsonova's demeanor shifted from a self-conscious acknowledgement of media presence to a somewhat theatrical display. After being remanded in custody, she addressed journalists with a mix of anticipation and resignation, acknowledging the disgrace she perceived in the city learning about her case. Her nonchalant blowing of a kiss and the request to leave the courtroom further highlight the complexity of her psyche. Samsonova's assertion that she was getting ready to this court action for dozens of years raises intriguing questions about the calculated nature of her actions. The deliberate planning and the statement, "There is no way to live." With this last murder I closed the chapter, suggest a premeditated acknowledgement of the consequences and a disturbing sense of finality. As the investigation into Tamara Samsonova's alleged crimes continues, the diary stands as a cryptic testament to a mind that navigates the realms of the ordinary and the horrifying. The convergence of routine details and chilling revelations invites speculation about the motivations, obsessions, and depths of darkness within the Granny Ripper. The unraveling of this complex narrative promises to shed light on the enigmatic psychology behind one of Russia's most notorious accused serial killers. Tamara Samsonova's court appearance unfolded in a surreal exchange with the judge, adding another layer of complexity to the enigmatic persona of the accused Granny Ripper. The judge, faced with the task of deciding whether to arrest her, engaged in a dialogue that revealed Samsonova's peculiar attitude towards the unfolding legal proceedings. When the judge presented the option of arrest, Samsonova responded with an unexpected degree of self-awareness and acceptance of guilt. Her statement, "You decide, Your Honor." After all, "I am guilty and I deserve a punishment," conveyed a willingness to face the consequences of her actions. This admission was accompanied by a sense of resignation, suggesting that she had already reconciled herself to the idea of being held accountable for her alleged crimes. The judge's decision to remand her in custody triggered an unconventional response from Samsonova. Rather than displaying the expected solemnity or defiance, she broke into a smile and clapped her hands. This unusual reaction further perplexed those present in the courtroom, adding to the mystique surrounding her demeanor. Despite her admission to the latest murder, a chilling revelation emerged from the police source indicating that detectives were unable to compel her to disclose the location of the missing head. This cryptic withholding of information raises questions about Samsonova's motives and the extent to which she controls the narrative surrounding her crimes. It underscores the enigma of her character, leaving law enforcement grappling with the challenge of uncovering the complete truth. During police questioning the week prior, Samsonova acknowledged her involvement in the crimes but refrained from providing detailed accounts. Reports suggest that in her residence, investigators discovered incriminating evidence: a saw, a knife, and blood spots in the bathroom. These findings add a tangible dimension to the accusations, linking her to the tools and locations associated with the alleged acts of dismemberment. The source from the investigation reflects on the paradoxical nature of Samsonova's intelligence, raising the question of whether her actions are driven by calculated cunning or a deceptive facade. The dichotomy between her seemingly straightforward admissions and the strategic withholding of crucial information leaves investigators grappling with the challenge of unraveling the true extent of her involvement and the motives behind her actions. As the legal proceedings unfold, Tamara Samsonova's courtroom demeanor and responses contribute to the intricate puzzle surrounding her case. The smile and applause upon the pronouncement of custody, coupled with the cryptic silence regarding the missing head, add layers of complexity to an already mystifying narrative. The unfolding chapters of this case promise to shed light on the enigmatic psyche of the accused Granny Ripper and the motivations behind her alleged crimes. In a chilling development, Russian police are exploring the possibility that Tamara Samsonova, dubbed the Granny Ripper, might be connected to 10 additional murders, bringing the potential total to 21 victims. This revelation amplifies the horror surrounding her alleged killing spree and raises concerns about the extent of her elusive crimes. Tamara Samsonova, a 68-year-old woman residing in St. Petersburg, has been at the center of a macabre investigation, suspected of brutally murdering and dismembering at least 11 individuals. The nickname Granny Ripper alludes to the gruesome nature of her alleged crimes, which have unfolded over a span of 2 decades. The fear of additional victims surfaced when mysterious human remains were discovered in bags, prompting investigators to probe a potential link to Samsonova. The haunting possibility that she may have perpetrated 10 more murders intensifies the sense of dread surrounding this case. The unfolding details paint a picture of a prolonged reign of terror that extends beyond the initially suspected crimes. Samsonova's involvement in the heinous acts became public knowledge when she was apprehended last month, caught on CCTV cameras near her residence, seemingly disposing of her latest victim in a black plastic bag. This arrest unveiled a dark chapter in her life, marked by a pattern of violence and brutality that had remained concealed for years. During a recent court appearance, Samsonova made a startling admission, stating, "I am guilty and I deserve to be punished." This acknowledgement of guilt, coupled with the revelation of her alleged involvement in 11 murders, hinted at a level of self-awareness and acceptance of responsibility. However, the emerging possibility of 10 additional victims adds a new layer of complexity to her already disturbing profile. As the investigation unfolds, authorities are meticulously scrutinizing Samsonova's actions, attempting to piece together the puzzle of her alleged crimes. The grim discoveries of human remains in bags cast a shadow over the community, instilling a sense of fear and uncertainty about the true extent of the Granny Ripper's malevolent deeds. The evolving narrative surrounding Tamara Samsonova suggests a prolonged and sinister saga that transcends the boundaries of conventional criminality. The quest for justice and answers continues, with investigators delving deeper into the darkness that shrouds the Granny Ripper and the potential web of victims entangled in her macabre legacy. Tamara Samsonova, infamously known as the Granny Ripper, has become the focus of a chilling investigation, marked by horrifying details of her alleged crimes documented in diaries written in Russian, English, and German. These diaries, found alongside black magic and astrological books, provide a disturbing glimpse into Samsonova's secret life, earning her the gruesome moniker. Detectives are now grappling with the unsettling suspicion that the former hotel worker might have indulged in cannibalistic practices, consuming body parts of the 11 victims she is accused of beheading and dismembering. The macabre revelation raises the specter of a more sinister dimension to her crimes, where acts of brutality extend beyond conventional violence. Particularly disturbing is the claim that Samsonova exhibited a penchant for gouging out and consuming lungs, suggesting a level of depravity that transcends the bounds of traditional criminal behavior. When questioned about the possibility of cannibalism, a police source acknowledged that it is not excluded, adding a ghastly layer to the already horrifying narrative. Sources within Russia's powerful investigative committee, equivalent to the FBI, have hinted at the removal of internal organs, with lungs being singled out as a specific focus. The indication that these organs were extracted from victims further deepens the gruesome nature of Samsonova's alleged actions, painting a picture of calculated brutality. The narrative takes an even darker turn with suggestions that Samsonova administered an overdose of sleeping pills to her final victim, 79-year-old Valentina Ulanova. Shockingly, it is proposed that she then proceeded to dismember Ulanova's body with a hacksaw while the victim was still alive, introducing an element of sadistic cruelty that defies comprehension. As investigators delve into the horrifying details encapsulated in Samsonova's diaries, they grapple with the challenge of unraveling the motives behind these heinous acts. The diaries, serving as a chilling chronicle of the alleged crimes, raise questions about the depths of Samsonova's depravity and the motivations that drove her to commit such atrocities. The Granny Ripper's case emerges as a nightmarish blend of psychological horror and gruesome reality, leaving authorities and the public alike to confront the unsettling possibility that the true extent of her malevolence may transcend the bounds of conventional criminality. As the investigation unfolds, the search for answers takes investigators into the dark recesses of Samsonova's psyche, seeking to comprehend the unfathomable depths of her disturbing actions. In a macabre turn of events in St. Petersburg, the Granny Ripper, Tamara Samsonova, finds herself at the center of a gruesome murder investigation. The heinous crime involves the beheading and dismemberment of her latest victim, Valentina Ulanova, a 79-year-old woman under Samsonova's care. The shocking revelation emerged after the discovery of Ulanova's headless body near a pond on Dimitrova Street. The motive behind this grisly act, as revealed by Samsonova during police interrogation, was a quarrel over seemingly trivial matters: unwashed cups. The mundane nature of the dispute adds a chilling layer to the unfolding narrative, highlighting the abrupt escalation from everyday disagreements to a horrifying crime scene. Samsonova's account of the murder further deepens the horror, detailing a disturbing sequence of events. According to the senior investigator in St. Petersburg, Mikhail Timoshatov, Samsonova claimed to have initially induced Ulanova to sleep before proceeding to dismember her body into pieces. The calculated nature of the crime raises questions about Samsonova's psychological state and the factors that propelled her to commit such a gruesome act. As investigators piece together the puzzle of Samsonova's alleged crimes, they turn to her elaborate diary entries for insights. The diaries, discovered alongside black magic and astrological books, serve as a disturbing record of her secret life. Comparisons are drawn between these chilling entries and known cases of unsolved murders involving dismemberment, where body parts were methodically packed in bags and scattered across the city. The connection to a previous crime on the same street adds a sinister dimension to the investigation. 12 years earlier, a headless, armless, and legless man's body was discovered on Dimitrova Street. Evidence found in Samsonova's flat, including a business card belonging to the victim, establishes a link between her and this unsolved case. The recurrence of such gruesome patterns raises concerns about the extent of Samsonova's criminal activities and whether her involvement extends beyond the current investigation. The investigation into the Granny Ripper case unfolds as a nightmarish exploration of brutality and psychological unraveling. Samsonova's alleged acts challenge conventional understanding, leaving investigators grappling with the disturbing intricacies of her motives and the depths of her malevolence. As the puzzle continues to take shape, St. Petersburg confronts the unsettling reality of a resident whose actions have plunged the city into a harrowing tale of horror and mystery. The sinister saga of Tamara Samsonova, infamously known as the Granny Ripper, takes a dark turn with suspicions of her involvement in multiple murders, including the mysterious disappearance of her husband in 2005. Samsonova's diaries, chilling repositories of her deeds, unravel a horrifying confession regarding the dismemberment and disposal of her former lodger, Volodya, in the Frunzensky district. The mysterious circumstances surrounding her husband's disappearance cast a shadow over Samsonova's life, raising questions about the extent of her malevolent actions. Despite her admission to murdering Volodya, the whereabouts of her missing husband remain a haunting mystery, shrouded in uncertainty and speculation. In the grim confession found within her diaries, Samsonova details the macabre act of killing Volodya, cutting him into pieces in the bathroom, and callously disposing of his body parts in various locations across the Frunzensky district. The cold-blooded nature of this revelation underscores the chilling reality of the Granny Ripper's crimes. As detectives in Russia grapple with the complexities of the investigation, details from Samsonova's diaries remain closely guarded, awaiting the completion of the multiple murder inquiry. The deliberate withholding of these records adds an air of anticipation, hinting at the potentially gruesome revelations that could further darken the narrative. Interwoven within the accounts of Samsonova's brutal killings are mundane details portraying the juxtaposition of her everyday existence. The stark contrast between routine activities and heinous crimes underscores the enigma that is Tamara Samsonova, a seemingly ordinary woman concealing a terrifying double life. The unfolding investigation into the Granny Ripper case confronts the dualities of human nature, forcing society to grapple with the unsettling realization that darkness can lurk beneath the veneer of normalcy. As detectives navigate the labyrinth of Samsonova's deeds, the veil of mystery surrounding her husband's disappearance and the extent of her murderous spree hangs heavily over the narrative, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of true crime. Amid the disturbing revelations of Tamara Samsonova, the so-called Granny Ripper, her diaries provide a perplexing glimpse into her psyche, blending mundane daily entries with chilling confessions. Within the unlined yellowing unrolled paper, Samsonova's handwritten phrases range from the banal, such as slept badly, drank coffee, take medicines, to more ominous statements like I do not eat. This peculiar juxtaposition hints at the intricate layers of her existence. Observers, delving into the disturbing diary, note that Samsonova's entries appear as if she feared missing something crucial in her life. The diary becomes a canvas capturing the ordinary and the extraordinary, revealing a woman caught between routine activities and a sinister underbelly that would eventually come to light. In a surprising twist during her latest court appearance, the gravity of the charges against Samsonova does not seem to be her primary concern. Instead, her attention is directed towards journalists present to report on her case and the potential revelation of her accused deeds to neighbors in St. Petersburg. Her peculiar reaction raises questions about her perception of shame, public exposure, and the notoriety that accompanies her heinous actions. Following her remand in custody, Samsonova acknowledges the inevitable disgrace that awaits her as she addresses journalists with a resigned certainty, stating, "I knew you would come. It's such a disgrace for me, all the city will know." The blowing of a kiss to reporters adds an eerie touch to the macabre proceedings. When prompted to address the court, Samsonova displays an almost nonchalant demeanor, requesting to leave due to the stifling atmosphere. Her assertion that she had been preparing for this court action for decades unveils a disturbing level of premeditation, suggesting a calculated approach to her actions. The statement, "There is no way to live. With this last murder, I closed the chapter," underscores a sense of finality, leaving an unsettling resonance in the courtroom. Samsonova's court appearance becomes a surreal tableau, where the incongruity between her casual gestures and the horrifying acts detailed in her diaries creates an unsettling atmosphere. As legal proceedings unfold, the complex interplay between her public persona, inner thoughts, and the culmination of a decades-long plan adds layers of intrigue to the Granny Ripper case. In a courtroom spectacle that added a layer of intrigue to the unfolding Granny Ripper case, Tamara Samsonova's interaction with the judge showcased an unsettling blend of nonchalance and acknowledgement of guilt. As the judge presented the impending arrest, Samsonova responded with an enigmatic statement, leaving the decision to the judge with a resigned acceptance of her culpability. "You decide, Your Honor. After all, I am guilty, and I deserve a punishment." The announcement of her custody evoked an unexpected reaction from Samsonova, who responded with a smile and applause. This peculiar display of emotions, seemingly disconnected from the severity of the charges, added a surreal dimension to the courtroom proceedings. The contrast between her acknowledgement of guilt and her outward demeanor left observers pondering the complexities of her mindset. During police questioning the week prior, Samsonova admitted to the crimes, although she refrained from delving into specific details, according to reports. The discovery of a saw, a knife, and blood spots in her flat heightened suspicions surrounding the nature and extent of her crimes. A source from the investigation, faced with the enigma of Samsonova's actions, remarked, "She's either much more stupid or much smarter than she seems." The dichotomy between her apparent nonchalance in court and the ominous evidence found in her residence added layers of mystery to the Granny Ripper narrative. Samsonova's complex relationship with the legal proceedings, marked by moments of admission and cryptic gestures, leaves a chilling resonance as investigators strive to unravel the enigma surrounding this accused serial killer. In an exclusive revelation, the chilling narrative of the Granny Ripper takes a more disturbing turn as it is unveiled that Tamara Samsonova, the pensioner who confessed to 11 murders in her diary, harbored an unsettling obsession with the notorious Soviet killer Andrei Chikatilo, known as the Red Ripper. This revelation adds a layer of complexity to the already macabre tale of Samsonova, suggesting a dark influence that might have shaped her heinous acts. Andrei Chikatilo, infamous for his reign of terror that included sexual assault, murder, and mutilation of at least 52 victims, left an indelible mark on the annals of crime. Samsonova's neighbor disclosed that she was very interested in Chikatilo, going so far as to gather information about his gruesome methods and the details of his murders. The parallels between Samsonova's actions and Chikatilo's modus operandi raise unsettling questions about the extent to which she may have been influenced by the Soviet killer. The Granny Ripper, who killed and dismembered her lodgers over 2 decades, now faces scrutiny not only for her gruesome acts, but also for the possibility of consuming human organs from her victims. As authorities delve into the depths of her psyche through psychiatric evaluations, the specter of Chikatilo looms large, suggesting a haunting connection between 2 individuals separated by time but united by the darkness that stains their legacies. The investigation into Samsonova's macabre deeds takes on a new dimension with the revelation of her fascination with Chikatilo, shedding light on the intricate web of influences that might have contributed to the making of a serial killer. As the story unfolds, the chilling interplay between these characters adds a layer of psychological complexity, leaving investigators to grapple with the unsettling question of whether a sinister legacy can transcend generations. In the annals of the Soviet Union's dark history, one name stands out as the epitome of bloodthirsty horror: Andrei Chikatilo, a maniacal vampire who unleashed a reign of terror, murdering, sexually assaulting, and cannibalizing at least 52 individuals over a gruesome dozen-year span. Chikatilo's atrocities were not merely acts of violence, they were a disturbing symphony of brutality, marked by the violation of his victims' bodies, including the grotesque removal of tongues, the bursting of eardrums, and the gouging out of eyes, all driven by a chilling fear that the eyes had memorized his image. As investigators delve into the psyche of Tamara Samsonova, the Granny Ripper who confessed to 11 murders, a haunting connection emerges. Samsonova's neighbor, Marina Kravchenko, a witness to her life for 15 years, reveals a perplexing facet of the story. According to Kravchenko, Samsonova exhibited a profound interest in the maniac Chikatilo, gathering detailed information about his modus operandi and the gruesome details of his murders. The reason behind Samsonova's warped fascination remains unclear, adding an eerie layer to the unfolding narrative. Chikatilo's legacy as the Soviet Union's worst-ever serial killer casts a long and sinister shadow, influencing not only the era in which he committed his heinous acts, but also reaching across time to touch the life of Samsonova. The convergence of these 2 figures in the realm of darkness raises profound questions about the nature of influence, the interplay of obsession, and the haunting echoes of a psychopath's legacy. As investigators grapple with the enigma of Samsonova's macabre deeds, the ghostly specter of Chikatilo hovers, leaving an indelible mark on the chilling saga of the Granny Ripper. In the dark chapters of Soviet history, the name Andrei Chikatilo looms large, a nightmarish figure who eluded law enforcement for years, exploiting the complacency of a system that believed such mass killers could not exist in their perfect society. Chikatilo's heinous acts cast a shadow over the nation, exposing the fallibility of a police force ill-equipped to comprehend the depths of human depravity within their midst. In a chilling parallel, Tamara Samsonova, the self-proclaimed Granny Ripper, emerges with a claim of her own, asserting that she, too, managed to evade the authorities for an extended period. However, Samsonova's narrative takes a macabre twist as her obsession with black magic literature comes to light. A neighbor, recounting her interactions with Samsonova over 15 years, paints a vivid picture of a woman whose appearance and habits underwent a stark transformation. The neighbor describes a time when Samsonova's flat was more attractive, and she, too, paid attention to her appearance. However, an unsettling detail emerges: Samsonova had a peculiar habit of sitting topless with her back to the window, deliberately ensuring that her silhouette was visible to the neighbors. This eccentric behavior adds a layer of intrigue to the unfolding tale, inviting speculation about the motivations behind such unsettling actions and their connection to the gruesome acts of violence attributed to the Granny Ripper. As the narrative weaves between the chilling history of Chikatilo and the bizarre revelations about Samsonova, the parallels and contrasts between these two figures become increasingly pronounced. The intersection of their stories creates a tableau of darkness, raising questions about the convergence of obsession, evasion, and the ominous presence of evil within the confines of Soviet and post-Soviet society. In a startling turn of events, new details emerge from the life of Tamara Samsonova, the Granny Ripper, shedding light on her interactions with neighbors. According to a neighbor, Samsonova's nude body was perceived as attractive by the neighbor's husband, offering a glimpse into the complex dynamics of the community where the accused serial killer resided. This revelation adds a layer of intrigue, prompting questions about the nature of relationships within the vicinity of Samsonova's residence. The neighbor further discloses that Samsonova, a former hotel worker, took pride in her language skills, boasting about her proficiency in English and German. This seemingly mundane detail takes on a new significance, hinting at Samsonova's personality and the way she presented herself to those around her. The disclosure provides a nuanced perspective on the accused murderer, offering insights into her self-image and interactions within the community. In a peculiar twist, the neighbor, Marina Kravchenko, acknowledges that Samsonova borrowed a hacksaw from her some years ago, a tool that was never returned. This seemingly innocuous act gains significance in the context of Samsonova's alleged crimes, raising questions about the potential use of borrowed tools in the commission of heinous acts. The missing hacksaw becomes a symbol of the connection between everyday interactions and the unfolding narrative of the Granny Ripper. As the revelations about Samsonova's personal interactions come to light, the focus shifts to the alleged final victim, Valentina Ulanova. Described as a keen gardener, Ulanova's connection with Samsonova takes a dark turn as her body parts are discovered buried amidst flowers near a pond. The refusal of the accused to disclose the location of Ulanova's severed head adds a chilling layer to the investigation, underscoring the enigmatic nature of Samsonova's actions and the lingering mystery surrounding her alleged crimes. In a crucial development in the investigation into Tamara Samsonova, the Granny Ripper, police investigators are delving into her multilingual diary. The diary, composed in Russian, English, and German, is now viewed as a cryptic repository of potential confessions and clues to unsolved crimes. Initial reports indicated that Samsonova confessed to 10 murders in the diary, excluding the killing of Valentina Ulanova, which she later admitted during police questioning. However, the exact contents of the diary are being treated as a complex puzzle that investigators are diligently working to decipher. The diary, far from being a straightforward confession, presents a multifaceted compilation of Samsonova's thoughts on life, interspersed with poems, songs, and lyrics. It emerges as a unique and enigmatic piece of evidence, requiring meticulous analysis to unveil the extent of Samsonova's alleged criminal activities. Authorities are treating the diary not only as a record of past crimes, but also as a potential indicator of her involvement in additional killings. However, to solidify the case against her, the police recognize the need to find concrete evidence, such as the discovery of other bodies corresponding to the details mentioned in the diary. One chilling passage from the diary reads, "I killed my tenant Volodya, cut him to pieces in the bathroom with a knife, put the pieces of his body in plastic bags and threw them away in different parts of Frunzensky district." This revelation encapsulates the gruesome details contained within the diary, providing a glimpse into the horrifying acts Samsonova is suspected of committing. As investigators navigate this intricate puzzle, the diary stands as a key piece of evidence that could potentially unlock the secrets of Samsonova's dark and violent past. The shocking revelations surrounding Tamara Samsonova, the self-confessed Granny Ripper, have left both neighbors and investigators in disbelief. CCTV footage has emerged, capturing the elderly woman carrying bags believed to contain the dismembered body parts of her alleged victim, Valentina Ulanova. This gruesome discovery has sent shockwaves through the community, as neighbors, who had considered Samsonova eccentric but harmless, grapple with the realization that she may be a cold-blooded killer. Samsonova's peculiar behavior, characterized by her nocturnal outings and reclusive daytime habits, has drawn attention from those living in close proximity. The pensioner's modus operandi, as deduced by the police, involved poisoning or drugging her victims. Once incapacitated, she would embark on the gruesome task of dismemberment. Astonishingly, neighbors recall never hearing any screams or unusual sounds emanating from her apartment, adding an eerie layer to the unfolding narrative. Senior investigator Mikhail Timoshatov shed light on the Ulanova case, stating, "Tamara Samsonova says that at first she made her friend sleep and then cut her into pieces." This revelation paints a macabre picture of Samsonova's alleged actions, raising chilling questions about the extent of her crimes. As investigators delve into the details of this horrifying case, the CCTV footage serves as a haunting visual record of the pensioner's activities, providing a glimpse into the darkness that lurked behind her seemingly unassuming facade. Russian authorities are confronting a nightmarish series of events surrounding Tamara Samsonova, the woman dubbed the Granny Ripper. The country's investigative committee, often likened to the FBI, has disclosed disturbing details suggesting that internal organs, particularly lungs, were systematically removed from the bodies of Samsonova's victims. The chilling possibility of cannibalism has not been ruled out, leaving law enforcement grappling with the extent of her gruesome acts. The unraveling horror began when Samsonova was taken into custody after the headless body of Valentina Ulanova, under her care, was discovered near a pond on Dimitrova Street in St. Petersburg. This macabre incident echoes a dark chapter from 12 years prior when a headless, armless, and legless man's body was found on the same street. The investigation has taken a sinister turn as evidence found in Samsonova's residence, including a business card for the earlier victim and diary entries detailing the man's tattoos, directly links her to the crime. A police statement underscores the woman's implication in the murder of her tenant, a 44-year-old native of Norilsk, who met a gruesome end during a sudden argument on September 6, 2003. The disturbing pattern emerging from these revelations paints a horrifying picture of Samsonova's alleged crimes, leaving law enforcement with the daunting task of piecing together the puzzle of her dark and violent activities. Neighbor Marina Kravchenko vividly recalls an unsettling encounter with Tamara Samsonova, shedding light on the enigmatic woman's demeanor and chilling revelations. The narrative takes a chilling turn as Kravchenko recounts a casual visit to Samsonova's home, where they shared coffee and conversation in the kitchen. However, amidst the mundane exchanges, Kravchenko detected an eerie shift in Samsonova's demeanor as she discussed her missing husband, whom she claimed had left home and never returned. Kravchenko recalls a disturbing glint of pleasure in Samsonova's eyes during this unsettling exchange, hinting at darker secrets lurking beneath the surface. As Samsonova's confessions to police unfold, a gruesome reality emerges. She has admitted to at least one more murder, implicating herself in the demise of another tenant whose dismembered body was callously discarded in plastic bags around the Frunzensky district of the city. The stark admission of further violence adds another layer of horror to an already chilling saga, deepening the mystery surrounding Samsonova's gruesome activities. The specter of her missing husband looms ominously in the backdrop, casting shadows of suspicion and dread. Samsonova's reported account of her husband's disappearance in 2005 raises alarming questions about his fate and her potential involvement. Kravchenko's recollection of the peculiar interaction underscores the unsettling atmosphere surrounding Samsonova, suggesting a sinister undercurrent beneath her seemingly ordinary facade. As the investigation delves deeper into Samsonova's dark past, each revelation unveils another layer of the intricate web of deceit and violence she allegedly spun. The haunting image of plastic bags strewn across the city, each containing the remains of her victims, serves as a grim reminder of the horrors that unfolded under Samsonova's roof. With each piece of the puzzle falling into place, the true extent of her depravity comes into sharper focus, leaving a community reeling in shock and disbelief. Amidst the unfolding saga of Tamara Samsonova, the Russian Granny Ripper, law enforcement spokesperson Sergei Kapitanov provides a somber update, affirming the relentless pursuit of truth in an ongoing investigation. The urgency of the probe is underscored by Kapitanov's assertion that the inquiry is proceeding at full speed, indicating the gravity and complexity of the case. A veil of secrecy shrouds key evidence in the form of Samsonova's diary, a multilingual chronicle that holds the chilling confessions and cryptic musings of the alleged serial killer. The police's refusal to disclose diary details reflects the meticulous nature of the investigation, emphasizing the need to safeguard critical information until the comprehensive examination of the multifaceted killer is concluded. Detectives grapple with the intricate task of aligning Samsonova's confessions with documented cases of unsolved murders in St. Petersburg, the historic Tsarist era capital. Each entry in her diary, penned on unlined, yellowing, unrolled paper, unveils mundane snippets of daily life: slept badly, drank coffee, take medicines, or I do not eat. However, within this seemingly banal routine lies an undercurrent of apprehension, as if Samsonova fears missing out on crucial details in her life, according to a source who has caught glimpses of the sinister account. The courtroom becomes a stage for Samsonova's bizarre and unsettling behavior as she addresses assembled journalists after being remanded in custody. Her anticipation of media attention is evident as she declares, "I knew you would come." The acknowledgement of disgrace and the ominous proclamation that all the city will know heighten the macabre atmosphere surrounding the alleged crimes. As the investigation navigates through the labyrinth of Samsonova's life and deeds, the enigmatic diary stands as a pivotal piece of the puzzle, holding the potential to unravel the mysteries concealed within its pages. The meticulous approach adopted by law enforcement reflects their commitment to justice and the arduous task of bringing the truth to light in a case that has sent shockwaves through the city. In a courtroom spectacle that defies conventional understanding, Tamara Samsonova, the alleged Granny Ripper, engaged in a series of bizarre and unsettling behaviors. As Judge Roman Chebotaryov extended an invitation for her to address the court, Samsonova, seemingly unfazed by the gravity of her situation, responded with a casual request to leave, citing the stuffiness of the environment. Her demeanor took a chilling turn as she disclosed, "I was getting ready for this court action for dozens of years. It was all done deliberately." The macabre revelation continued as she asserted, "There is no way to live. With this last murder, I closed the chapter." This ominous declaration hints at a premeditated and calculated approach to her actions, suggesting a disturbing acceptance of her own fate. Judge Chebotaryov, tasked with the weighty decision of whether to arrest Samsonova, queried her perspective on the matter. In a disconcerting response, she deferred the decision to the judge, acknowledging her guilt and expressing a readiness to face the consequences. The courtroom took an eerie turn as she smiled and clapped her hands upon the announcement of her custody, an incongruous display, considering the severity of the charges against her. Amidst the legal proceedings, a chilling detail emerged. Despite police interrogations and Samsonova's admission to murdering her elderly friend, authorities were unable to extract information about the whereabouts of the victim's missing head. The elusive nature of this crucial detail adds another layer of mystery to an already perplexing case. Psychic Fatima Kadueva, drawing on Samsonova's known interest in the occult, speculated that her fascination with cannibalizing lungs might be rooted in a fear of having a weak lung. This peculiar insight offers a glimpse into the intricate web of Samsonova's psyche, as experts and investigators grapple with the challenge of unraveling the motivations behind her gruesome acts. Russian authorities have remained silent on a potential connection between Tamara Samsonova, the self-proclaimed Granny Ripper, and the infamous Soviet murderer Andrei Chikatilo, also known as the Rostov Ripper. The silence leaves room for speculation and raises questions about the possible influence of Chikatilo on Samsonova's gruesome acts. In the annals of Russian crime, there is a disturbing pattern of some male mass killers expressing admiration for Chikatilo. Notably, Alexander Pechushkin, dubbed the chessboard maniac, openly idolized the Rostov Ripper. Pechushkin, who aimed to surpass Chikatilo by murdering one person for each square on a chessboard, received a life sentence in 2007 for the brutal killing of 62 individuals, primarily in Bitsa Park, Moscow. Another figure in this macabre trend is Mikhail Popkov, a former police officer from Siberia, known as the Siberian Slaughterer. Convicted this year for 22 murders, Popkov is currently under investigation for over 30 additional killings. Senior prosecutor Olga Muzikova of the Irkutsk region revealed that Popkov saw himself in the shadow of Chikatilo, further emphasizing the influence wielded by the notorious Soviet murderer on subsequent criminals. The eerie connection between these killers and Chikatilo raises chilling questions about the pervasiveness of his legacy in the minds of those who followed in his footsteps. As investigations continue, authorities must delve into the psychological aspects that led these individuals to revere a man responsible for one of the darkest chapters in Russian criminal history. Ex-detective Serhiy the Beast Tkach, 62, terrorized Ukraine with his gruesome acts, ultimately convicted by a Ukrainian court in 2008 for 29 murders and 11 attempted murders. Tkach, born in Russia, confessed to an astonishing tally of up to 200 killings over a span of 25 years. His motives, he chillingly claimed, ranged from seeking revenge on women to deriving simple sexual pleasure from his heinous acts. Tkach's appalling crimes earned him the moniker the Beast, and he drew parallels between himself and the infamous Soviet killer, Andrei Chikatilo, stating defiantly, "I'm not a man, I'm a beast." Same as Chikatilo. The sinister shadow of Andrei Chikatilo looms large over the annals of Russian crime, casting a dark influence on subsequent killers. Alexander Bichkov, infamously known as the Penza cannibal, followed in Chikatilo's footsteps, driven by a macabre fascination with his idol's methods. Bichkov, who idolized not only Chikatilo but also Adolf Hitler, was arrested after committing 11 murders by the tender age of 23. His mother recounted how she observed him meticulously collecting stories about Chikatilo from newspapers, preserving them in his scrapbook, underscoring the twisted admiration he held for the Soviet killer. The insidious legacy of Chikatilo transcended real-life horrors, finding its way into the realm of cinema. The movie Child 44, featuring Tom Hardy, delves into a fictional narrative inspired by Chikatilo's case. Set against the backdrop of Stalinist-era Russia, the film follows a secret policeman tasked with apprehending a monstrous predator preying on innocent children. Through this cinematic portrayal, the echoes of Chikatilo's atrocities reverberate, serving as a stark reminder of the terror he unleashed upon society. September 4, 2015. In a chilling revelation, Tamara Samsonova, the 68-year-old suspected serial killer known as the Granny Ripper, shockingly reenacted the gruesome act of decapitating her last victim and boiling the severed head in a saucepan during an encounter with police. Samsonova, believed to be responsible for up to 11 murders over a span of 2 decades, confessed to the horrific details of her heinous acts. CCTV footage captured the disturbing scene as Samsonova nonchalantly carried the severed head inside a saucepan, a surreal and horrifying sight that added another layer to the already macabre narrative surrounding this elderly killer. The Granny Ripper spared no gruesome detail, providing a first-hand account of her monstrous actions. This revelation comes on the heels of Samsonova's written confessions in her diary, where she chillingly described dismembering her victims' bodies and consuming their remains. The diary, a trove of horror and self-incrimination, has been a key piece of evidence in the ongoing investigation into the depths of Samsonova's depravity. The case of the Granny Ripper continues to unravel, exposing a dark and twisted trail of violence that defies comprehension. As authorities piece together the evidence and delve into the psyche of this alleged serial killer, the true extent of her atrocities emerges, sending shockwaves through the community and beyond. In a shocking disclosure, Tamara Samsonova, the 68-year-old alleged serial killer hailing from St. Petersburg, has recently provided police investigators with chilling details about her involvement in the deaths of up to 11 victims spanning over 2 decades. In the latest revelations, she recounted the harrowing account of drugging 79-year-old Valentina Ulanova, leading to the elderly woman's collapse on the floor. The motive behind this heinous act stemmed from Ulanova expressing her desire for Samsonova to vacate their shared flat. During an interrogation, details of which have been leaked to the Russian newspaper Komsomolskaya Pravda, Samsonova admitted to deliberately lacing Ulanova's food with a potent dose of phenazepamine, consisting of 50 pills. Astonishingly, she chose an Olivier salad, a dish Ulanova favored, as the vehicle for administering the lethal drugs. The macabre episode adds another layer to the unfolding narrative of Samsonova's alleged reign of terror. As investigators delve deeper into the psyche of this accused serial killer, each revelation brings forth a disturbing portrait of calculated malevolence. The case continues to unravel, painting a horrifying picture of Samsonova's methodical approach to her crimes and the dark motives driving her deadly actions. In a chilling crime reenactment, Tamara Samsonova, the alleged serial killer from St. Petersburg, described the gruesome details of her final victim, 79-year-old Valentina Ulanova. Samsonova admitted to drugging Ulanova with a potent dose of phenazepamine, causing her to collapse on the floor after she expressed her wish for Samsonova to leave their shared flat. The horrifying confession continued as Samsonova revealed the macabre aftermath of the drugging. "I woke up after 2 a.m., and she was lying on the floor. So I started cutting her to pieces," Samsonova chillingly recounted. The act, facilitated by a handsaw borrowed from neighbors years before, took place in the kitchen where Ulanova's lifeless body lay. Samsonova began the dismemberment process by severing Ulanova's head, placing it in a large saucepan, and cooking it on her victim's stove, as reported by Komsomolskaya Pravda. The gruesome details of the crime scene raise disturbing questions about Samsonova's motivations and methods. While police entertain the suspicion of cannibalism, an alternative theory posits that she boiled the head and hands to conceal her victim's identity, possibly in an attempt to thwart the investigation when disposing of the body parts near her apartment block. As the case unfolds, each revelation adds layers to the horror of Samsonova's alleged crimes. Chilling details emerged as Tamara Samsonova, the alleged serial killer from St. Petersburg, recounted the grim aftermath of her final victim, 79-year-old Valentina Ulanova. Samsonova described how she meticulously disposed of Ulanova's dismembered body parts in an attempt to cover her tracks. After severing Ulanova's head and hands and boiling them in a large saucepan, Samsonova wrapped the remaining body parts in curtains and placed them in bags. She then embarked on a haunting journey down the block stairs, carrying the saucepan containing the gruesome remains. The scene, captured in chilling images, depicts the macabre reality of Samsonova's actions. Samsonova proceeded to dump the bags near a pond on Dimitrova Street, but her efforts to discard the evidence were incomplete. The newspaper, granted access to a video of her testimony, reported that Samsonova only managed to carry the hips and legs to the nearest backyard before her disposal plan was interrupted. Despite her meticulous efforts, crucial evidence remained elusive. The head, hands, and inner organs of the victim were never recovered by police, leaving lingering questions about the extent of Samsonova's crimes. The painstaking process of sorting and disposing of the remains took Samsonova 2 hours that fateful night, underscoring the calculated nature of her actions. On July 26, the discovery of human remains by local dogs triggered a frantic police search in the neighborhood. The gruesome find occurred after a social worker raised concerns about the whereabouts of Valentina Ulanova, who had been reported missing. Tamara Samsonova, the prime suspect, had denied entry to the social worker, prompting suspicion. Upon arriving at Samsonova's residence, authorities were met with a chilling confession. Samsonova admitted to Ulanova's murder and revealed details of 3 other killings. Subsequently, she was apprehended, and law enforcement proceeded to conduct a search of her apartment. Inside Samsonova's flat, investigators made a disturbing discovery: her peculiar diaries written in multiple languages, including German, English, and Russian. These diaries, described as bizarre, are believed to contain crucial evidence regarding Samsonova's alleged crimes. Some reports suggest that the diaries contain confessions to as many as 10 separate murders. However, the Russian Investigative Committee, responsible for overseeing the investigation into the mass murder case, has not divulged comprehensive details regarding the contents of the diaries. Today, a revealing excerpt from Tamara Samsonova's diary, published by Komsomolskaya Pravda, sheds light on the mundane aspects of her life. In stark contrast to the horrors hinted at in earlier entries, this passage unveils the banality of her daily routine. I woke at 5 a.m. I am drinking coffee. Then I do work around the house, one entry reads. Continuing with the minutiae of her existence, it mentions her outing to buy marshmallows, a seemingly innocuous detail in the midst of her chilling narrative. Despite the ghastly nature of her crimes, one entry stands out for its apparent affection: I love Valya. This sentiment, directed towards her victim Valentina Ulanova, whom she affectionately referred to as Valya, adds a disturbing layer to the complex psyche of a serial killer. In an earlier alleged extract, released by Russian media, a stark contrast emerges. Here, amidst the mundane entries, lies a chilling confession: I killed my tenant Volodya, cut him to pieces in the bathroom with a knife, put the pieces of his body in plastic bags, and threw them away in different parts of Frunzensky district. This revelation serves as a grim reminder of the horrors lurking beneath the facade of ordinary life, hidden within the pages of Samsonova's diary. Tamara Samsonova's chilling confessions to the police include claims of murdering 2 male lodgers from her past, whom she allegedly drugged before dismembering. However, a twist in the tale emerged when one man, initially suspected dead, was found alive and is now a crucial witness in the case. This revelation highlights the complexities and potential inaccuracies in Samsonova's accounts. Adding another layer of mystery, investigators are exploring the possibility of her involvement in the disappearance of her husband 15 years ago. Initially, she informed her neighbors that he had left her for another woman, but when reporting to the police, she insisted he had mysteriously vanished. During her interrogation, Samsonova recounted a disturbing motive behind one of her killings. According to her, the victim expressed exhaustion with her presence, telling her, "I am tired of you." In response, he requested her to leave and return to her own home. Samsonova, expressing fear and panic, elaborated on her emotional state at that time, providing a glimpse into the complex psychological dynamics that may have driven her heinous acts. In a disturbing revelation during her police interrogation, Tamara Samsonova disclosed a macabre motive behind the murder of her victim, 79-year-old Valentina Ulanova. Samsonova claimed that by killing Ulanova, she could live here in peace for another 5 months, until her relatives turn up, or somebody else. This chilling statement provides a glimpse into the twisted reasoning behind Samsonova's actions, suggesting a calculated and eerie mindset. Natalia Fedotovskaya, a friend and neighbor of the victim, expressed concerns that the head and body parts might have been discarded in a garbage skip by Samsonova. The possibility that the saucepan containing the severed head was thrown into the skip, typically collected on Saturday mornings, adds a layer of difficulty to locating crucial evidence. The question of whether Samsonova could be a cannibal looms over the investigation. When asked about this possibility, a police source stated, "It is not excluded." This disturbing detail raises further questions about the extent of Samsonova's crimes and the gruesome nature of her acts. In a bizarre turn of events during her court appearance after being remanded in custody, Samsonova displayed a mix of defiance and attention-seeking behavior. Anticipating media coverage, she told assembled journalists, "I knew you would come. It's such a disgrace for me, all the city will know." Later, she blew a kiss to reporters, adding another layer of unsettling behavior to an already perplexing case.
Synopsis Official.